Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. This is Vince Versace, Director of News Media and National Editor of the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce. This is a special episode of the Construction Record. As you have known, we've been on hiatus for almost a year now. We'll be bringing you other specials as well. As it concerns tonight, we're on the ground in Vancouver at the 36th Annual VRCA Construction Awards. Joining me tonight is Warren Frey, our correspondent, who's also joined me many a time on this night of celebrating construction excellence in Vancouver and British Columbia.
Hello, everybody. I think we were counting it out. This is my 10th one, something like that?
I think so, yeah. We've put in at least 10 years worth of doing this with all the stakeholders of the industry. And more than anything else, we want to congratulate the VRCA, that's the Vancouver Regional Construction Association, for organizing another great event that really does celebrate all the different people in the industry that help build this province and also help build Canada as well. Warren, you and I have seen some excellent projects over the years feted here, whether they win or not, whether they win the gold medal or not. To be nominated actually does mean something.
Well, anybody who gets into the gold level won at the silver level, right? So you see some pretty amazing projects one way or the other.
Yeah, and the projects, you know what I mean, vary in scale and size for our new listeners, those of you not familiar with it, but they're worth celebrating, just like we know other associations across Canada do as well in their own jurisdictions. When I look at the project nominees that are here for tonight, it's impressive. You're looking at projects, whether they've used BIM technology, whether they've been innovative in the way they did tunneling, or constructions, or facade, or the way they built their teams that built these projects, meaning they looked at their quotient of Indigenous people maybe that are on the team, or women involved. That's the type of excellence that should be celebrated, and it's great to see
and
here.
And it is. One thing you pointed out to me off air was that this is something that the JOC started, so we go a little into the history of it.
Yeah, it's a point of pride for us at the Journal of Commerce. Just nearly 40 years ago, so 36 years ago, the JOC launched the awards, working with the local association. You would, those of you that are old enough and are of a certain vintage, maybe like Warren and I, do remember newspapers being front and center with events like this, right? And not just in construction. It's a partnership that we've enjoyed with the association over the 36 years. We've stepped back now more as just a primary media sponsor, along with other media that do exist here in the Lower Mainland and in BC, who also do a great job covering the industry. I'll give credit, I don't see them as competitors. I see us all as sharing the same space here in Vancouver and BC when we cover the construction industry.
Oh, we're all at the same table usually, so.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is we want to tell the stories of the industry. And that's what makes the awards special. It's kind of like that other little culminating moment in some of these stories.
Yeah, it's like an annual celebration. I mean, it sounds cliche, but that's what it is.
Yeah, and the VRC does a great job. You know, we enjoy the moment that we get on stage to present the awards that we do. But more than anything else, I really enjoy being around the stakeholders when we're here and just seeing that the industry is moving forward. It is trying to be innovative. It is trying to meet certain quotas and think of the future and building that workforce for the future. And it's worth celebrating overall.
Okay, so up next, I'm going to talk to Jeannine Martin, the president of the VRCA, and then we'll be back. Here with VRCA President Jeannine Martin, and we're going to talk about the awards. Jeannine, kind of give me the 100-foot view of the awards.
Well, we have a fantastic awards gala tonight. We had 96 submissions for the Awards of Excellence, and the judges went through all of those and culled it down to, we have 18 categories and almost 2 to 3 contenders in each category. So I sat through the judging with the judges on much of the judging and I heard the discussions, and I can't even imagine how they finally get to pick the one because there's so much excellence happening in construction.
So you can't give away the winners obviously,
yes.
But what are some of the highlights? Like what's sort of the trends in projects, like year to year as things change?
Yeah.
What have you seen?
I think that's, a couple of things that we wanted to highlight this year are certainly attention to diversity and inclusion, integration of Indigenous companies and staff. So we did get quite a bit of information on that from our members, which I think is fantastic because we don't necessarily we're not necessarily required to track that information, but the companies are paying attention and able to share that, we love. Also, companies that overcame supply chain challenges seem to be a consistent theme on some of the projects, and they did it very well, and that was amazing to see and exciting. And I think the judges really were interested in how people made stuff work when they couldn't get what they needed.
And that's something that, before COVID wasn't even a going concern, really. So,
correct.
So yeah, I guess that my next question would be, what are some other sort of new wrinkles that you had to deal with in terms of that, and other things like tariffs, for instance, that kind of stuff?
Right. So interestingly, tariffs does not seem to be, sort of the big issue that we were anticipating it to be. And I think in the beginning, we did have economists sort of advising that you're looking at maybe 3%. And I think we've seen that it is targeted on a few industries and maybe not the humongous, I hate to say it like this, but maybe not as big a ripple as we thought. We continue to watch it, and certainly I think, just like running any business, it's uncertainty that creates the problem. It's not necessary. If you can anticipate what's happening, you can plan for it.
Of course, yeah. And that kind of leads me to my next question, which is, well, you just mentioned it, inclusion, and what are some of the more soft skills, I guess, for lack of a better term. You've always got those different categories like safety and inclusion and all that, and Woman of the Year and all that stuff. Is there anything new, or is it the same awards, or?
So I think the new is that we've actually separated out a diversity inclusion category and an Indigenous involvement category, and not necessarily engagement, involvement. So of course that in for construction, taking steps towards reconciliation is certainly contracting with Indigenous companies where we can, and so that those were two separate categories with point value and
right. Yeah, that was my muddled way of trying to ask that question.
Sure.
And another thing that strikes me is that with Prime Minister Carney and this whole push for Canada to build, this isn't to the awards. That would be next year, maybe, or the year after that. But what's your general take on that? Like, what is the potential of that?
So I think you'll hear some jokes tonight about that, and maybe a little bit in Craig's monologue. I want to be bullish and excited about that. I think we've seen, sometimes things don't necessarily play out the way they are pitched, as certainly in an election cycle, and even, once in the first, I think it was in the first 90 days or so that he made that announcement. We'd love to see that happen. We are ready. We are building relationships with the Minister of Infrastructure locally here and with the BCCA. We want industry to help them get those projects on the street. We want to build, baby, build. We are ready, but it remains to be seen what will happen.
Okay, and what do you think overall? The awards haven't happened yet, but what would people listening to this will know who the winners are? So, what would you like to say to them?
Yeah, so I think that you'll notice there are some themes. Certainly, excellent projects often win in multiple categories because
I've seen that before,
there are, all of the pieces work together very well, which is exciting. I think we'll notice an increase in some of the sizes. Certainly we see that the mechanical and electrical scopes are growing, and those categories have gotten a little bit bigger. I think that on the Outstanding Achievement Awards, we have a fantastic award, a fantastic young construction leader who we're going to recognize tonight, and a new award, Inclusive Leadership in Construction Award. And so we have a fabulous person who will be winning that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jeannine, and thanks, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
Well, Warren, once again, it was great to join you again on this podcast. We've done it so many times, and as time goes by, I'm noticing I'm happy that this is a podcast and it's not video.
Oh, absolutely
you would see my graying hairs year after year as we do
here.
this talk.
What little hair I have.
Right. So once again, I want to tell our readers and subscribers, visit joconl.com for all your construction news. Download the Construction Record podcast wherever you may find it. We're available on all podcast catchers that you may be linked into. And thank you so much for your support, and keep your ears out. We will have another special episode coming very soon.
Thanks for listening to the Construction Record podcast. You can hear us on Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify, as well as at theconstructionrecord.libsyn.com and on the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce websites. Thanks again for listening.